Hey guys, so I wanted to let you know to watch until the very end of this video because we got Piper's DNA results back. So stick to the end where I will say what they are. It's Thursday, November 26th, and this is how the garage still looks. But as you can see, there has been some progress. We did get the drywall delivered yesterday, finally, after like 3 setbacks. So what we're gonna do is we are gonna go camping because that's always been our plan. And hopefully when we come back, this garage won't look the same. We've been here at Mohican State Park for a total of 5 minutes. And these two have successfully made me clean the furniture twice. And the floor is just all kinds of paw prints. However, I will say that pledge, this pledge right here, it works amazing. I love it to use it in the camper. You can use it on glass. And the Airstream, I used to use it on the walls, so good stuff. Yeah, Pipey? Trying to get a toy. Been digging in there. It is time. We're to start prepping for Thanksgiving dinner. What I have here is my little turkey. It weighs a total of 6.69 pounds, and I am going to do it completely in the convection oven. Don't mind Guy. He's just whining because Mike is outside. Separated pack. Guy can't take it. And I'm going to be doing stuffing and baked mashed potatoes because that was one of Mike's favorites and that's what he requested. Probably another pie and some vegetables. So let's get going. The convection is preheating to 350. Got my turkey in the turkey bag with a little bit of flour, and I'm going to season it with a bunch of different seasonings: salt, pepper, thyme, Italian seasoning, onion powder, garlic powder. I think that's it. And I'm just gonna do a nice dry rub on this. I'm gonna cut some holes in the top of the bag after I seal it up so that it lets out some of the pressure. And it's going to be good to go in the convection. One thing I noticed is that my convection will not allow me to set it over multiple hours. So I had to put it in there for 1 hour and then I'll just check it. Maybe I'll spin it around, put it in there for another hour and repeat for the 3rd hour and give it some temperature checks along the way to see how it's doing, because I've never done a turkey or any kind of large meat in the convection. It does really well with pies and other baked goods and everything like that, so fingers crossed for a good turkey. turkey is still cooking. It's into its second hour right now. So I decided to get going on the potatoes. What I have in the pot right now is just some salted water and probably about 6 to 8 large russet potatoes that have been skinned. And I'm gonna bring those to a boil and then I'm gonna mash them up, and I do have my mixer. Got my trusty helpers right here. Of course, Piper is way too concerned with what's happening outside the window. But she's jealous she's not out there with them. Poor Pipey. The potatoes are cooking down quite nicely, so I thought I would get started on the stuffing. What I have in my large skillet here is 1 chopped yellow onion and a whole stick of butter. And then I am currently chopping up my celery. I went ahead and I broke up all of the bread into this bowl. It was nice and getting stale and crunchy, which is exactly what you want. And I added my spices to the stuffing mix. What I have in there is salt, pepper, thyme, poultry seasoning. I believe that's it. I don't measure, so if you're wondering how much of that I put in there, your guess is as good as mine. So that's why it's always difficult for me to like put out a cookbook or something along those lines. If I'm baking, I do measure because that's how you need that magic to happen. But when you're cooking, I generally never measure anything. So I go off of taste. That's how my mom cooked. That's how I learned how to cook. And that's just how I like it. I don't know, it's just better that way. And everyone has different tastes. So someone might think it needs more salt. Someone thinks it needs less salt. Someone thinks it needs this or that. And that's why I just cook the way that I know I like it and Mike likes it. So I'll just tell you what's in there and you can base it off of how much of that you would like in there based off your tastes. And added in a couple of handfuls of the bread to this mixture to absorb some of the butter. And then I'm going to take this and add it into the bowl with the remaining bread, mix it together, and I'm going to add in probably 2, maybe 3 eggs depending on how the texture is with the bread. Added 2 eggs and I'm going to blend it together and see how the consistency is. You don't want it to be too mushy because it won't have a very good texture, and you don't want it to be too dry or burned or anything like that when you bake it. Yeah, I think this is the perfect texture that I'm looking for. What I have here is my pan I'm going to be putting the stuffing mixture into. I've sprayed it down lightly with some cooking spray. And I'm just going to pour it on in. I just pulled the turkey out to check the temperature, and it looks like it is perfectly cooked. It is above the required temperature, and I verified that with my own meat thermometer. For the baked mashed potatoes, I have my potatoes all drained, and I put some salt, pepper, 3/4 cup of milk. I use coconut milk. And then 4 to 6 tablespoons of butter. I just kind of guesstimated with the butter, and I'm going to give it a good mix. It needs to be nice and smooth. And then I will be adding cream cheese. I believe I did forget to mention that I did have 1 small onion chopped and also added into this mixture. Years past, I've made this, but I've always used Greek yogurt instead of the cream cheese. But let's be honest, 2020's been bad enough. Let's just use the real stuff and make Thanksgiving good. So let's just, we gotta mix this in, and then it's almost ready to go into the convection. just in case you're wondering what your RV kitchen might look like while you're making Thanksgiving dinner, it's going to look like a big old clustered mess, just like this. Now, generally I do try to clean as I go, but I just kind of ran out of time. Everything was just kind of moving a little faster than I anticipated because this bad boy is working hard and it's doing an amazing job. So props to the convection oven. I wanted to show this beautiful turkey. The convection oven did a really good job. I've got some green beans from our garden going, had them frozen, and the potatoes are still almost finished in the convection. So I'm going to start to cut up the turkey and start to plate. Last but not least, the baked mashed potatoes are all done. The turkey, I cut into it and it is super moist and flavorful. Everything is just going to be super good, and these two are just hoping something falls on the floor. There it is, all plated and ready to eat. Thanksgiving dinner was a big success. Everything turned out wonderfully. It was delicious. The turkey was super flavorful and juicy, and everything cooked just perfectly. And this bad boy, which is a Hisense brand, I would highly recommend Hisense if you're looking to get a new one. I've heard some not so good things about other brands, but if I were to buy another one or needed to buy or replace something, even in our house, I'm pretty sure I would go with this Hisense because it did such a great job that I almost don't miss my RV ovens that I've had in the past. I am still considering wanting to put one in. And we put it down right where this drawer is right here. But it's not really high on our priority list anymore because this has done such a great job for us. So, very impressed. Just returned back home, and this is the progress so far. Still nothing on the ceiling, and just a couple of feet at the top. But at least there is progress now, so that's refreshing. I wanted to do a little wrap up of our video. It's a really nice park. We got invited to go from Following the Fitches, and it ended up being a really great weekend. We weren't sure if we're going to be able to go because of the garage, which, as you can see, there has been progress. And hopefully that will be done within the coming weeks. The drywall should be finishing up tomorrow. And then we do get the new insulated garage door in next week. And then I think they're going to schedule it for the following week to be installed. So there is progress. Everything worked out really well with Thanksgiving dinner. Everything was delicious. I'm very happy with how it all turned out, and the leftovers are pretty much gone, which is also good. So now to the fun stuff. A lot of you have made your guesses as to what you think Piper may be, and we got the results back, and she is what they call a perfect mix of two breeds. So, as most of you can probably guess, one of those breeds is Boxer. And some of you also did guess that she would be this other breed, but we were a little surprised. So, the other breed is actually the American Pit Bull Terrier, the only one that has Pit Bull in the name. So, Piper is a Boxer American Pit Bull Terrier, perfect mix. So what they said is that she gets a lot of her appearance genetics from the boxer side. Pretty much her entire mother's side of the tree is all boxer, and the father's side is American Pit Bull Terrier. All basically two purebreds put into Piper, which is kind of cool that she's like such an even mix of two breeds. So what do you guys think? Does she look like that? Does she act like that? Are you guys, you know, excited or happy with the results, or are you kind of like disappointed and a little bit? Mike and I were actually a little bit disappointed. We thought that she was going to be mixed with something smaller, like a Boston Terrier or something along those lines. So she does measure within the small ranges of those breeds. So I guess it all makes sense. So thanks for sticking around. Hopefully you guys will watch our next adventure, and hopefully soon this garage will be done, and we'll see you later.